Welcome to Shop Talks. Shop Talks is a presentation of InKitchen.com where you can find free information, technical articles, etc., and a YouTube channel where you can see this video later. We have about 200 videos up, some other ones of LaTonna Roberson, the lady print boss here, and we have sponsors that make all this free, like Los Angeles Apparel, Stalls, Easy Way, and Hirsch in the Impression Show here. I'm Rick Roth from the Kitchen, and I have with me my good friend T. Roberson, from the print boss from Dallas here. Does a lot of consulting, has a shop, real world knowledge he has. We're going to talk today about the use of AI, artificial intelligence, that can help you with your business, especially at a low cost. So take it away. What are some ways that AI can help people, some easy ways to get into it that will assist them with their business?
Okay, so what I mainly use AI for in my business is to run the administrative side of my business. I do a lot of email quoting, a lot of back and forth with customers, and so I use it in that aspect. And now I actually use ChatGPT, and I do use the Pro version, which is like $20 a month. But it has really changed the way that I do business. As far as, for an example, customers who need quotes, right? You're normally doing a repetitive task because you're basically sending out the same information on the quotes. So you can actually go into AI and ask it to create these email templates for you. And all you have to do then is just plug and play. So for example, if I need to send Rick an email, I say, hey, chat, send an email to Rick. He wants a quote for blah, blah, blah. And it will compose it for me. Now you have to then go in and plug in the numbers. But I'll tell y'all a little bit more into this about how you can do that with AI also.
So besides that, I know you told me you use it as a chat function also on your website.
Yeah, so on my website, I use it to talk to customers back and forth. And so let's say, for example, that you're strolling the website. I have a little pop-up that'll pop up after you've been on the website for so long, and may say, hey, you want to chat? And then people will start a conversation with it. My chat bot, I named it AI Ken, and he will ask you, hey, do you need a quote today? And people will say, yeah, I need a quote, I need such and such, and it'll start a whole conversation with them, even going into guiding them through the website. Because a lot of times your website has so much information, people don't know that you have things like color charts, things like that on the website, inks, different inks that you could choose from. So it will actually give them links and say, hey, go check this out. If they want to place an order, the chat will say, okay, well, you can order the Bella Canvas shirt at this link, and it's already giving them the price.
So AI Ken, how does he act versus the real Ken?
Well, here's the thing. It's not going to replace a human, okay? I've been working with it for the past year, and so you have to go in, you have to refine it, and you have to go back over and back over and back over. So you can't just put the chat up there and just tell it the pricing and expect for it to do everything in every scenario. So what I do is I go back through all of the chats and make sure that it's answering the questions correctly. You also program it to say something like, hey, I'm really unsure about that. Let me get a sales rep. And then it'll ping my phone and let me know to sign on to the chat.
So when it says we want 10,000 shirts, it pings you double, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then do you use it at all for artwork or not?
So in ChatGPT, they do have DALL-E. And I do use DALL-E, but not really to create my final artwork. I've been really successful with doing some basic stuff, giving it a command and telling it to come back with mock-ups. I do, and when I say mock-ups, not mock-ups with designs, more mock-ups, just blank shirts, poses, things that I can use to put the actual design on. Sometimes I do design in Dally, and the thing about it is it's still not perfect, so you still have to take it into your design software, and then once you get it in your design software, you edit it. Now, you can now actually edit in ChatGPT. So when you, let's say for example, it generates a photo for you, and then you want to change something in the photo, they now have a place where you can highlight with your cursor what you want to change, and then give it a command and it'll change it. Problem is, that only happens, and you only get it correctly maybe like 3-4 times out of 10. I don't recommend if you're designing, let's say if I was going to design something for a school, and let's say it's Lane High School, and I want a graphic of a tiger and a circle or whatever, right? I may give it a command to give me just the graphic and not the wording. Absolutely no wording. Always ask it to tell it that you don't want any wording, because you can go into your design program and put your wording on there, and ask it to give you a mute background so that you have something light that you can actually go in and vectorize.
So to go back to the business part where it helps you with the quotes, what was the learning curve like in terms of when you first started using it, and then it was actually functioning enough for you to use it in your business?
Okay, so when I first started using it, everybody was saying, well, you got to program it, you got to give it prompts. And I tried the prompting thing, and
for people who are beginning, what is a prompt? What is that?
okay, so a prompt is like, let me see how to explain it. So you would go in and tell it specifically what you wanted. So let's say, for example, if I wanted to generate a photo of a woman sitting on a chair, I would have to go in and specifically say what color her hair is, what color her skin tone is, what she's wearing, all of that stuff. And now I don't do that. Now I just talk to ChatGPT now normally. It took probably about 3 or 4 months. Within ChatGPT, what really makes it a game changer is that when you go in and you program it, once you set up your account, there's a settings area where you tell it about you and you tell it how you want it to respond to you. So it learns your style of talking. It will learn your style of quoting. So I like my quotes in a certain format. So if I tell it to return all of the quotes, anytime I ask you for a quote, to return it in a certain format.
And when you mean tell it, you mean tell it, actually, right?
Yeah.
This is not like having to write anything up, right? This is all verbal to text, right?
So I actually tell it. So what I do is, before, you had to just type in with ChatGPT. Now you can actually talk to it if you have it on your phone. They have the widget where you can just sit in and say, hey, Chat, and it'll say, hey, Lady Print Boss, what's up? And then you just tell it what it is that you want. On desktop does not have the live voice feature, but you can still utilize it by hitting Win-H on your PC, and then you'll get the Windows little recorder that'll pop up, and then you can talk to it and it'll talk back to you that way.
All right. So when you started learning how to do the prompts and all that for your business part of it, where it's giving the quotes, what's the timeline like from the time you first tried it till you actually could use it?
Oh, once I started, I just went all the way in. Once I started,
Were you talking like months to learn, or weeks, hours, days?
Days. So I started doing, and I'm still learning things. So I actually started out doing the email templates, asking it to do emails, and then going in and refining it. And then once I got that, I would have it to do my contracts, because I do have sometimes you deal with people and you have to have contracts, especially if I'm doing like a live event. I got to have a contract for that. Got to have a win clause. So started doing that, And then as time went on, I'm looking at videos and I'm trying to figure it out, and in different chat groups and things like that. And just as time goes, it just learns you. And I asked it something about you this morning. So there's some really good features. Like now, you guys can, y'all are at the show, so I always like to give a little something that I don't give in any videos or anything like that. So here it is. You can literally use AI to generate leads for your business, okay? And when I say generate leads, so normally you may go to ChatGPT and you say, hey Chat, I'm looking for construction companies that employ about 100 people, and this is the product that I'm trying to market to them, right? And I'm looking for a certain area. And it may come back and give you 10 companies that you can go into. Problem is, there's an issue where it will not give you an email address. So if I say, hey, Chat, I'm doing an event with Rick Roth and I need his contact information, it'll go in and scrape the internet and tell me where I can find the contact information, but it will not give me his email or phone number. So here's the deal. You have to have an app that will make ChatGPT do what it needs to do. Okay?
A workaround.
Yeah, so you have to have an app. I'm big into apps because I'm small business, and so I'm big into apps. So you can use an app like like Zapier, or an app called Make. What it does is it will take ChatGPT, which you're getting natively in ChatGPT, and put your ChatGPT on steroids. So what I mean now is I can go to Google and I can look at Google Maps and I can say target a zip code and say, okay, I want to pull up all of these industries or all of these companies under a certain, let's say it's restaurants or whatever. And then I can match that in the Make app or in Zapier and make them connect. And then tell ChatGPT to scrape the internet with the information that I pulled up, and it'll start scraping. It'll check LinkedIn. It'll check any type of public information to get whatever information I'm asking for. If I need to get in contact with the purchasing director, that's what I'm doing. So y'all just got bossed up.
So what's that app called? PrivacyInvasion.com?
Yeah, you can really get deep with it. Even let's say, for example, you want to make your AI literally your virtual assistant in your pocket. So another thing that you could connect it with is you could connect it with your Google Calendar, right? But you need a bridge, so to speak, to connect it so that everything works properly. So you go into the Make app or into Zapier and you go in and you set up triggers. So you would have to set up a trigger for your Google Calendar to talk to ChatGPT, and when you need to schedule an appointment, it will schedule it in ChatGPT or schedule it, over in your Google Drive, not in your Google Drive, in your Google Calendar for you. You can also save things like, let's say if I use it for teaching all the time. I use it for teaching. I did my whole Bosscation event, from making the advertisements to doing just everything I did in there.
So what was the process? I mean, you didn't go to graduate school for this. Where did you search to find out what apps would help you? How did you learn how to use ChatGPT and other AI forms? Like, do you use forums, just search it, videos, all that? What were your ways of learning what would be helpful for your business?
Well, first of all, I'm really nerdy. People don't know that part about me. is that I'm really into mathematics, and I like making widgets and figuring out how to make stuff work. And I've been working with apps for a long time, and I had to. It was like you're forced to deal with all of these different apps. I probably have about 20 apps that I use every month that kind of helps me to do certain things in my business. They're a little bit cheaper than me hiring an employee. So as I'm doing things and technology is coming out, a lot of things I'll go in and ask ChatGPT, hey, can you schedule meetings on my calendar? And they'll say, no, I can't schedule it in here directly, but you can use this to make it happen. Or I'll go and say, hey, I want to add this to my website. How can I get this to do that? And it will literally tell you. And sometimes, even with going in, and now I'm actually teaching it to do the quoting. And you have to go back in and refine it. So you have to be really good at what you do also, because you got to go back in and double check it and try to figure out some things, because sometimes it doesn't compute the way that it needs to. But all in all, if you spend some time, you have to dedicate, I probably, in the middle of the night, I'm that person that's up at 2 o'clock in the morning, giving it 2-3 hours, figuring stuff out, and then once I get it to work, it's on autopilot, and I'm gone.
All right, maybe anything else or questions? We
can do some questions.
All right, who has a question for LaTonna about using AI in your business?
Yes, sir.
We'll repeat it. All right, the question is about using AI to help you with social media.
Okay, that was a good one. You love it. Because I do
Is that
that.
a plant? Is that a method or something?
No. But hey, it looks like a family member. So you definitely can use ChatGPT to help you with your social media or any other AI program. So one of the things that I do is I will tell it to give me some topics. Or I will sometimes I'll have a photo or I'll have a video that I did, and I'll kind of describe what I'm doing in it. It'll give me a topic, and then it will actually create the post for me, and it does it beautifully. Like every time I'm just blown away with how it does it. I also go in, now there's one thing that you can do if you want to bulk create, this is another gem, okay, Lady Print Boss Drop. If you want to bulk create your ads, and so you want to do your social media, put it on autopilot. Let's say you want to do 30 days worth of content, 60 days, or even a whole year worth of content. You can go in for whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you do, some things should be photos, some things should be videos, some things may be Q&As about your business, information for people, and you go in and tell it some things that you want to do, and say, hey, Chat, give me 30 social media posts, 30 posts that I can post on Instagram to help me promote the Christmas holiday season, right? Now, it needs to already know what it is that you do in order for it to come back with that information. So you've been talking to it. The more you talk to it, the more it's going to help you out. Like I can go to it and I don't have to tell it over and over again what's going on. I can tell it, hey, it's December, or hey, it's October. What should I be doing right now to promote my business? It'll give me those bulk posts. You want to ask it to give it to you in the form of a chart in columns. So let's say, for example, I want to do a series of Q&A questions. Maybe 10 common questions that people needing custom products ask. Give me the question in column 1, give me the answer in column 2, okay? And then you download that column. I probably do 25, 30 at a time. I do the first 30, tell it give me another 30, another 30. Take it over into Canva, use a feature called Bulk Create, okay? When you get into the Bulk Create feature, you're gonna upload Because if you use the professional version of ChatGPT, you can just download the information on a CVS file or CSV file, and then you can just upload it into Canva, and then you can bulk create your content. Go on to YouTube, Google bulk create, and it'll bulk create hundreds of ads for you, and you'll have the wording, right? It'll bring it in, it'll have the Q, the A, and then all you have to do then is just upload whatever image you want in the background or a video of you doing this. Like Q, A, just, or maybe you're just walking on the beach and you're just, hopefully that helps.
That was a good one. Other questions? So if you're going to integrate ChatGPT with your website, what's the best host for your website?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but what I can tell you is, so I use WordPress, and what I do is sometimes I will go into ChatGPT and I'll tell it, hey, I need to create a landing page for my website, and then I'm using WordPress. And it will create the structure. It will give me, let's say for example, we want to do a special on holiday mugs, and I want to create a landing page. It'll give me the title for the landing page. It'll put everything in there that I need to do, and then all I have to do is just copy the HTML, go into the back end of my website, upload the HTML, and then after you upload it, you have the structure, but then you have to go in and you have to format it. So you may need to format the logos or the wording to be the size that you want it to be, and then you would pop in your pictures in different frames that it already set up for you. So you could basically do it with any website.
And that saves you hours, probably, right?
Yeah, that saves you
It
hours.
saves hours, and also,
Yeah.
I guess, gives you ideas that you might not have come
Yeah.
up with yourself.
Yeah, that saves you hours.
Other questions? Did I answer the question? Other questions? All right, so the question is, what happens about people that don't like this AI term and want to push back and really want to talk to a live person?
Okay, so what I did is I thought about that. And so when AI Ken comes on, he actually tells you that he's an AI bot, and that's why his name is AI Ken. And at any time, you can request to speak to a live rep. And so the way that my chatbot works is if you say, hey, can I speak to a person? Then it'll tell you, hold on 1 second, let me get someone for you. If I'm not available or I can't get to anybody, then it will tell you, hey, let me have a rep give you a call back or shoot you an email.
I think that's a great question because, I mean, at least in my estimation, you really have to make it clear when you're using AI. And so
Yeah.
I think that's great that you immediately identify that it's not a person, it's just a assistant, and it may lead you to a real person if necessary.
Yeah, because sometimes it does make mistakes. We're still new in this thing. And so sometimes you have, let's say for example, a customer wants something that maybe you don't sell comfort color tees, or you don't have that particular brand of t-shirts on your website, and a person needs that, then they need to speak to a person, or they want a specialty type of ink. They want to know, hey, can you do that in water-based ink? And you have people who are very particular like that.
Or it's the AI's just not going to figure it out. It's some kind of very,
Yeah, because
very
sometimes it doesn't figure it out, and that's why in your commands you definitely want to tell it, hey, if there's a question that you don't know the answer to, that I have not programmed into you, I need you to tell the person, hey, I'm not sure, let me get you to somebody.
Because it'll make up stuff otherwise. Some crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
otherwise it will, and that's what happened when I first set it up. When I first set up the AI bot, it didn't go live for like 2 months because I had to keep going back in and checking it and doing stuff to it. So I wouldn't tell you, you could put like maybe Q&As on there. You could do like a resource tab, where when it gets to quoting, it's difficult. And it's difficult for me, and I'm like just the genius when it comes to quoting, but it's difficult for me. So it is difficult, and it does take a while, but if you just keep refining it and refining it, it's going to work for you.
So the question is only talking to it, or can you import info for your, I guess with the quoting, right?
So it just depends on the AI that you're using. You can, so if I'm using ChatGPT, which I use on a daily basis, from the time I get up in the morning and get my coffee, that's who I have my morning meeting with. I can upload Excel files or whatever data that I want to upload. However, that data does not stay in its memory base. So that data is only there for its chat. So then again, you have to match that data with an app. So let's say, for example, you have a Google Drive and you have that Excel sheet or that data in that Excel sheet, and then you have to link, send it, copy and paste the link into ChatGPT and tell it, hey, I want to pull some information from this data. Now, when it comes to the website, it's different. If you're using an AI bot on the website, most of those have text data, or you'll have an Excel sheet that you can actually upload because it lives on the website, and then it will pull from that, and so then you don't have to re-upload it. And what I do is I create in Chrome, I just create a bookmark of favorites. I tile it ChatGPT with all the stuff that I do, and then I can pull it easily.
Those are good questions, thank you. Other questions? So the question is, you mentioned earlier that there's contracts. How do you have it use the same format consistently, right?
Y'all got questions, don't you? It's a good chat today. So when you go in and you create it, you tell it, hey, chat, I want to create a template, and I want you to remember that this is the template that I'm going to be using every time I come in to do my contract for whatever it is that you're doing, right? And then you create the template, you refine it. It's going to remember that because you're not uploading data into it. This is a chat that you have had with it, and so it's learning you. Things like, I may want, if I'm doing a quote, I want my emails to always start with the person's first name, so I have to tell it, hey, let's send an email, a quote over to such and such such, and here's the quantity, here's the print colors, and so on and so forth, right? And I want it to always, it'll always come back with the same thing, but you have to tell it, remember this. So always make sure that you tell it to remember that, and then go back and say, hey, pull up the email template for such and such, pull up the contract template for da-da-da that we created, and it'll pull it back up for you. One last thing, you can always search. If you're on your phone, if you're using ChatGPT, any type of data that you've searched, as long as you have your settings in there to not delete your data, you can only do search on your phone. You can go in and type in the search button, and it will pull up any chats that you've had. The other thing is you can also upload every chat that you've ever done with ChatGPT using a Zap and upload it into your Google Drive, so you always have that information.
That good? All right, good question, good answer. Good question.
Okay.
So is there so she just really is wanting to know about it. Is there a primer on it that you can get from Google, by Googling it or going into Chrome search? How do you get started? Basically,
Okay,
how do you get started?
so what I would do is I would go in and I would Google Chat GPT, and then it'll tell you a bunch of stuff. Now, there are better GPTs out now than Chat GPT. And I got this information directly from Chat GPT. I started with Chat GPT, so I've been working in it for so long that it knows me. Right? It knows who my kids are. It knew that I was going to do this show with Rick today. It can tell you so much information, right? I'm laughing at her. I'm sorry. yeah, I know. But it's, well, hey, actually, the information that it's pulling, it's already out there because they're advertising a show. They're advertising that I'm going to be here. All the information that I pull up on him, it's actually already out there. It's just scraping and pulling up what information you've given it. So if it's something you don't want it to know, then you don't tell it. It's not going to do anything to your phone until you ask it. Right, until you ask it. So, and I tested this because I wanted to know if it knew who my husband was, and it didn't. If it knew who my kids was, it knows who my son is because I often speak about me starting the business because of my son. But it did not know my other children. So it's as far as it, like if you have your phone on, it doesn't just constantly listen to you like it was Alexa or something, right? Now I will tell you guys, check into Gemini. If you use Gmail and you use Google products, check into Gemini. Gemini actually is going to surpass GPT. It's going to surpass Chat because Google has so many products. You got Google, right? So it has direct information to Google. You've got Gmail, all those types of products, and it will pull also from YouTube and all of the products that are Google related. But because I started in Chat, it knows me so well and it knows my business, that's where I've just decided to stay. Yes, I would suggest checking out Gemini. Whatever chat, see, it's like this. So whatever chat that you start with, whatever AI you start with, you're training it. If I was to start over now, I would be training something another year for it to get to know me. So I am going to do Gemini, but I am going to keep my Chat GPT because Gemini is not going to return the information on me or on my business or know how I like to speak, how I want it to speak, the questions that I normally answer. It's not going to give me that.
So suggest Gemini if just starting, you're saying?
I would suggest that you go in, you do the trial with Gemini, you do the free Chat GPT, maybe you try Copilot, you figure out what works for you best. If you're doing artwork, maybe you go straight into Midjourney.
I will say also that this is a question really with any technology whatsoever, whether it's artificial intelligence or it's transfer technology, is that it's when it's a little intimidating, you don't know what to do, it's very easy to say, well, it's changing so much, I'm going to wait. And, at some point you just have to wade into the stream.
Yeah.
Maybe there's going to be something better, but it's already going to be useful to you.
Yeah.
Just like, you might buy a DTG machine, and as long as it can do what you want it to do, even if there's a better one next month, as long as it did what you wanted it to do, jump in and do it. There's nothing earth-changing. I don't think anything earth-shattering is going to happen that is going to make whatever you learn relevant and unhelpful.
Right. Another thing is, so Michelle Moxley, she does AI videos over on the In Kitchens channel, and they're not normally like what I do, but I watch them because she really goes into the evolvement of AI. And she talks about a lot of designing in AI, and I find it very interesting. It's deep. So I would definitely tell you to go over to the Ink Kitchen and check out, what is it, Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah, Fahrenheit is her line. And that we're a sponsor, so it's all free. So it's YouTube in Kitchen channel.
Yeah.
And Fahrenheit is her series. Some of her talks are there also, but
Yeah,
the whole
that's
series it's
amazing.
about every couple of weeks.
I've watched that.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, she gets deep.
Yes. All right. Any other questions or? Well, you're going to hang out for a couple minutes if anybody else wants to ask LaTonna anything else. How about a hand for our great speaker here?
Thank y'all for having me.
Check out our site, ladyprintboss.com, right?
Yes, sir. LadyPrintBoss.com.
All right, and check out our YouTube channel. This will be up there eventually. And thanks to our sponsors you see up here, and thanks to Impressions. And check out our poster that goes to a homeless program if you make a donation. Thanks.